One of the biggest myths about car accident cases is that if the crash was clearly not your fault, your claim is automatically safe. It is not. I have seen strong cases lose thousands of dollars and sometimes fall apart completely because of what happened in the hours, days, and weeks after the wreck. Not because the person was lying, not because they were greedy, usually because they did what normal people do when they are hurt, stressed, busy, and trying to get back to normal. Maybe that sounds familiar. You get rear-ended on the way home. Your neck tightens up later that night. The insurance company calls the next morning sounding friendly. You post a smiling photo because you do not want people worrying. You miss one follow-up visit because work is crazy. Then suddenly the adjuster, meaning the insurance representative handling the claim, starts acting like you were never really hurt. That is how claims get destroyed. In this video, you are going to learn exactly what causes that to happen and how to protect yourself before it is too late. I am a practicing personal injury attorney, and I handle car accident cases like this every single day. I deal with insurance adjusters, medical records, settlement negotiations, and the small mistakes that turn good claims into weak ones. By the end of this video, you will know the 5 biggest things that can seriously damage your car accident claim, why insurance companies focus on them so aggressively, and what you need to do if you want your case to be taken seriously from the very beginning. The first thing that can destroy your car accident claim is waiting too long to get medical treatment. Here is the legal reality in plain English. Your claim is not just about what you say hurts, it is about what can be proven. Insurance companies look for a clear connection between the crash and your injuries. That connection is called causation, which simply means showing that the accident caused the harm you are complaining about. If you wait days or weeks before seeing a doctor, the insurance company immediately argues that either you were not badly hurt or something else caused the pain later. Imagine you are driving home from work and another driver slams into the back of your car at a red light. You feel shaken up, but you tell yourself it is probably just soreness. 2 days later, your neck is stiff. By the end of the week, your lower back is hurting, and you finally go to urgent care. That delay may feel reasonable to you, but to the insurance company it becomes an opening. They will say, if you were really injured in the crash, why did you wait? What most people do wrong is trying to be tough, trying not to miss work, or assuming pain will go away on its own. Some people are also worried about the cost of treatment, which is understandable. But the longer you wait, the more room the insurer has to question whether the crash actually caused the problem. What you should do is get evaluated as soon as possible after the accident, even if your symptoms seem minor at first. Some injuries, especially soft tissue injuries involving muscles and ligaments, do not fully show up right away. Then follow the treatment plan consistently. If the doctor says come back in a week, go back in a week. A claim is strongest when the medical timeline makes sense from day one. The second thing that can destroy your claim is giving the insurance company too much to work with before you understand your case. Insurance companies often sound helpful early on, but their job is to limit what they pay. One of their favorite tools is the recorded statement, which is a phone interview they preserve and later use to challenge you. They may ask innocent-sounding questions like how you feel, whether you saw the other car, or whether you are already doing better. Those questions are not casual. They are designed to lock you into answers before you know the full extent of your injuries. Imagine you are still sore, have barely slept, and an adjuster calls 2 days after the crash. You are trying to be polite. You say, "I am okay, just a little shaken up." A month later, you find out you have a herniated disc, meaning a spinal disc that is bulging and pressing on nerves. Now the insurer pulls out that early statement and says, "You told them you were okay." What most people do wrong is thinking honesty alone is enough. Of course you should be honest. But honesty is not the same thing as volunteering incomplete information while you are still in pain, confused, and missing key medical answers. People also guess about speed, distance, or how they feel physically, and guesses get treated like facts. What the law and common sense require is much simpler. Report the crash promptly, cooperate reasonably, but be careful. Stick to basic facts. Do not guess, do not minimize, do not exaggerate. And before giving any detailed recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company, Understand your injuries and, if needed, talk to a lawyer. One careless sentence can follow your claim for months. The third thing that can destroy your car accident claim is creating a story that does not match your real life, especially on social media. Personal injury cases often come down to credibility, meaning whether people believe your description of what happened and how badly you were affected. Insurance companies look for anything they can use to argue that your injuries are overstated. Social media gives them a hunting ground. Photos, check-ins, comments, and even jokes can be taken out of context and used against you. Imagine you are dealing with daily back pain, headaches, and physical therapy after a crash. Then your cousin gets married, and you post a smiling picture from the reception. Maybe you were there for 1 hour, sat down most of the night, and paid for it physically the next day. None of that shows up in the photo. What the insurance company sees is a happy image they can wave around and say, "This person does not look injured." What most people do wrong is assuming the truth will speak for itself. They think, I am allowed to smile, I am allowed to leave the house, I am allowed to try to live my life. And that is absolutely true. But insurance companies do not view evidence fairly. They view it strategically. They will use the one image that helps them and ignore the 10 facts that help you. What you should do is simple. Stop posting about the accident, your injuries, your activities, and your recovery while the claim is active. Ask friends and family not to tag you. Keep your accounts private, but do not assume privacy makes content invisible. And make sure your daily choices line up with what you are telling doctors. If you say you cannot lift, twist, or travel comfortably, do not hand the insurer content they can spin into a contradiction. The fourth thing that can destroy your claim is settling too early or signing paperwork you do not fully understand. After an accident, quick money can feel like relief. You may have a damaged car, missed work, and medical bills showing up in the mail. Insurance companies know that. That is why early settlement offers can come fast. The catch is that once you sign a release, meaning a legal document that closes your claim, you usually do not get to come back later for more money, even if your injuries turn out to be worse than you thought. Imagine you are offered a check 2 weeks after the crash. At that point, you have been to urgent care once, you are still sore, and you are thinking maybe this is enough to move on. Then 6 weeks later, an MRI shows a more serious injury. Maybe now you need injections, more time off work, or even surgery. But if you already signed the release, your case may be over. What most people do wrong is focusing only on what hurts today. They do not yet know how long treatment will last, whether they will have permanent problems, or how much income they may lose. They also do not realize that some paperwork authorizes broad access to medical history or settles more than they intended. What you should do is wait until you understand the full picture before resolving the claim. That means knowing your diagnosis, your treatment plan, your out-of-pocket costs, and whether future care is likely. A fair case value is not based on panic. It is based on evidence. Once you sign away your rights, regret does not reopen the file. The fifth thing that destroys car accident claims is not one dramatic mistake. It is the cluster of small mistakes that make you look inconsistent, careless, or unreliable. Most people do not realize how damaging treatment gaps can be. Here is where things go wrong. You go to the doctor twice, start feeling a little better, get busy with work, and miss 3 weeks of care. Then when the pain comes back, you start treatment again. To you, that feels normal. To the insurer, it looks like your injury either healed or was never serious in the first place. Consistency matters because the paper trail becomes the story of your case. Most people also do not realize how much their own words and medical records matter. If you tell one provider your pain is an 8 out of 10, and then tell another provider 2 days later that you are doing fine, that inconsistency will be used against you. It does not necessarily mean you are lying. People describe pain differently, depending on the day, the question, and their mood. But once it is in the records, the defense may treat those differences like proof that your complaints cannot be trusted. And here's another place things go wrong. People fail to document the ways the injury affects ordinary life. They miss family events, cannot sleep, stop exercising, struggle to sit at a desk, or need help lifting their child. But they never mention those limitations to their doctors. Later, when they try to explain how much the crash changed their life, there is very little in the records backing it up. Insurance companies pay close attention to what is documented, not what you remember months later. So when you hear that a claim got destroyed, it is often not because of one giant error. It is because several small decisions slowly gave the insurance company a stronger argument than the injured person realized. First, you need to get checked out as soon as possible after the crash and make sure every symptom is reported clearly. If your neck hurts, say that. If you have headaches, dizziness, numbness, or back pain, say that too. Do not wait for the symptoms to become unbearable before you mention them. Then make sure you follow through with treatment. Go to your appointments, follow medical advice, and if you cannot attend a visit, reschedule it quickly. The goal is to create a clean, believable timeline that shows your recovery is being taken seriously. The third thing most people skip is documentation. Save photos of the vehicles, the scene, visible injuries, prescriptions, work absences, and anything else connected to the crash. Keep a simple journal of your pain and limitations so you remember what daily life actually looked like. Fourth, be careful with every insurance conversation. Be polite, but do not guess, speculate, or minimize what you are going through. If you do not know an answer yet, say you do not know. And finally, before you accept money or sign any release, make sure you understand the full value of what you are giving up. A short conversation with a qualified attorney early on can prevent a permanent mistake later. If you are dealing with a car accident claim right now, I know this process can feel overwhelming. You are trying to heal, keep your life moving, and make smart decisions at the same time. The fact that you are here learning about this now is a very good sign, because the more you understand, the harder it is for an insurance company to take advantage of you. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. If you want more plain English legal guidance every week, subscribe to the channel. And if you have a specific situation and need advice tailored to your case, feel free to reach out for a consultation. You do not have to know everything today. You just need to avoid the mistakes that can cost you tomorrow.